What's going on, Canes fans? I hope everyone is having a great first day of August. I must say, Ross, the Miami Hurricanes, recruiting wise, has done a phenomenal job in July. Probably one of the top programs in the nation to do as well as they did in recruiting. I mean, we got to start with our recent commitment, Tommy Kinsler, three-star offensive lineman, flipping him from Florida. There's a lot of, expectation that Miami was targeting him. He was a Florida commit, but, tremendous grab. And it's funny, a lot of people, just looking at his film, his size, it's like he doesn't look like your typical three-star offensive lineman. And, Coach Mirabal and Mario must have really liked what they saw,
I think his attitude and his presence is what they really want on the line, especially in the interior. He's a mauler. He wants to get down. He wants to get dirty, and he wants to put guys on their ass. And I think that that's a mentality that they'd like to spread throughout the interior offensive line while we're gathering these elite offensive tackle recruits, or at least going after them.
Right, exactly. I mean, Francis Mauigoa, he was at the University of Miami this past week in Frankie Tinalau, Tommy Kinsler adding him to the group, and we're just getting started. I mean, Ross, I know it's early on, but I mean, if you can go into just Coach Mirabal's opinion of Tommy Kinsler, which I love because, Coach Mirabal is one of the best offensive linemen coaches in the nation. So if he takes a three-star, he must really like what he sees and the upside in Tommy Kinsler. What position do you think you can see him playing at, ideally?
I can see him playing at guard, just depending on the strength that he gets, left or right side, especially in footwork. But he's got a little bit of that meanness and that strength to make up for a little bit of that lack of size. So, I mean, dude, he could actually be kind of a undersized mauling guard that do happen. We see him occasionally. It just takes a special kind of guy to do it, but he's got that kind of mobility.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think there's a lot of upside with Tommy
Yeah.
Kinsler, and I'm just happy we actually have the appropriate coaches to develop players. We really do. I mean, our head coach was an offensive lineman in college. That's what he specializes in, and like I said previously, Coach Mirabal, fantastic offensive line coach. I know we missed out on Malik Bryant. Apologies on that. We're a little late to the party. I want to talk about him real quick because four-star linebacker, number 4 overall linebacker in the nation. In my opinion, one of my favorite recruits to commit to the class. I think this was an outstanding pickup, and we've stated this, Ross, tons of times. The linebacker position unit. I mean, we need to create a stronger personnel moving forward, and we will. Shout out to this entire coaching staff, Coach Charlie Strong, reeling in Malik Bryant out of Jones High School. First thoughts about him.
I mean, the multiple reasons why he's ranked as a top 5 guy. I mean, he's got the physical traits, he's got the talent, and he's got the upside. He's even got the body that can be added, more muscle, more power, and not really lose any of the athleticism. And on top of that, he's a fantastic fit, Paul. He's a little bit bigger than the other 2 guys that we're bringing in, but there's a reason for that. We want a little bit of intimidation sometimes in that factor, and I think he's a guy who can deliver that. But you pair him up with guys like Raul Aguirre and Bobby Washington with their explosiveness. Watch out for the future, guys. Seriously, watch out for the future. That could be a very exciting Canes trio at linebacker.
And we're just getting the ball rolling, guys. Jurian Dickey, 5-star wide receiver. He played for the Miami Immortals, I believe. They're 7-on-7 football team. They're based out of Miami. Their quarterback was Jaden Rashada. He was visiting the University of Miami past few days. It was a big event. They had a barbecue. A lot of recruits were in town. I got to say, he's an Oregon commit right now, 5-star, recruit. I feel like, he's leaning strong towards Oregon, but if Miami can pull this off, that would be incredible. Because on the board right now, wide receiver, besides, your Brandon Ennis, for example, I think he's going to go to Ohio State. There's William Fowles as well. He's not committed anywhere. I believe he's out of Dade Christian in Miami. I would say Jurian Dickey right now, from that are interested in Miami realistically, that have visited. I would circle him in right as my top wide receiver prospect.
I mean, as far as guys we're going after, he's ranked higher than the rest of them. There's a reason that Oregon is so high on him. He's a hell of a freaking player, dude. It's impressive that we were able to get him on campus with like how you mentioned how much of a lean the rumors have been that he is that max lean for Oregon, and that everybody else is kind of just picking up the scraps. Well, lo and behold, Jurian Dickey pops up in person and is at our event. If any staff can flip him, it's our staff.
No, 100%. And do you think we're in a situation where it's like, hey, we're going to take one more wide receiver? It's either going to be Jerry and Dickey or William Fowles moving forward. Whether it's going to be like, all right, either Dickey's interested, or if he's not, we'll take you if you want to come in. But now we're going to go after Fowles.
I could still seeing us going after Fowles. It just depends on how much he continues to impress us and how much development he continues to show. I hate saying it, but I've always looked at him as somewhat of our plan B option with some other guys ahead of him. But that's not to discredit him at all, because he's a P5 caliber wide receiver. I'm just not sure if it's at Miami where that will take place.
Interesting. So you think Jury and Dickey is the priority right now? That's what I think. That's the priority. If it doesn't work out, then you have to go somewhere else.
No reason not to make him the priority and lay out the red carpet real quick while you got him around. No reason. Just take your shot,
I agree. No, I 100% agree. My main, my main thing is, getting Nathaniel Joseph. Flipping from Clemson was incredible. I don't know how much heavy interest there is in Miami. I think it was outstanding. He took a visit to the University of Miami. I just don't know how strong of a commitment he has towards Oregon, because I would love for him to be a part of this recruiting class. I think he's a phenomenal football player. He can make an impact at the next level. I know a lot of people are big into William Fowles from Dade Christian. I like Jerry and Dickey at the top, in my opinion, as my number one priority right now.
At that position, absolutely. I have no problem if we do end up with Foles. I believe that he can be a contributor for us, and I believe that he can fit in ways that we actually need in the future. But Jury and Dickey is definitely the prize. There's no doubt about it. He can just flat out do more at wide receiver.
Hakeem Williams Stanley mentions that, another great, phenomenal local from South Florida, wide receiver. If right now, I feel like he will be going to a school out of state. Right now. Now, everything could change in recruitment. That's another great wide receiver prospect we did not mention. I just feel like right now, I think he'll be going to a school out of state.
Yeah, I kind of feeling the same way. There was that buzz that was really, really pointing in our direction early, and it was really, really good buzz pointing in our direction. But it just seems like as time has gone on these last couple of weeks, Miami's less and less and less of the ideal spot for him. Now, who knows? Hakeem might be keeping things completely under wraps. He might be playing low-key stuff, wanting to manage his own recruitment without the media and everybody else getting involved. So, we'll see what happens when he signs the dotted line.
By the way, Mr. HD mentions Andy Jean did commit to the University of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, Ross? So he was originally committed to Miami, decommitted. Like I said, Jury and Dickey for me is number one on the board. If I had to pick someone, I guess, Ross, I don't want to put you on the spot. What are some differences? I mean, breaking down Hakeem Williams, William, Fowles, Jury and Dickey. I mean, if you had to pick one, who would you pick and why?
Well, you got two guys there. You got Hakeem and William Fowles, two guys who got a little bit of extra size, who can go up and get the ball, and win some contested catches, but also still have enough speed to break open and make some big plays. Jury and Dickey offers more of a complete package at wide receiver. He's not a specialist. He's not a jump ball guy specifically. He offers more of that full, complete, all-around wide receiver package you want, and which is why he's ranked so high.
Hey, we'll see what happens. We got over 73 people in the live chat right now, 11 minutes in. Thank you guys for showing up. Hit subscribe, hit the like button. Would greatly appreciate your support. Hopefully, we can pull off Jury and Dickey. I know I'm comfortable with with fouls. I really am.
Well,
Not
rumor is that the staff is not giving up on Andy Jean, and they will continue to pursue him until he signs the dotted line at Florida.
very true. Very true. The staff really likes Andy Jean a lot.
Yeah,
So
they do.
we'll see what happens. I mean, he is a local football player in Miami.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. Um, I wanted to talk about Samson Okunlola because there's been a lot of trend recently about Samson Miami. This would be a nice icing on the cake with our offensive line unit. I mean, he's the number 3 overall tackle in the nation. We got the number 1 overall offensive tackle in the nation. Okay, you're going to get 2 5-star offensive linemen potentially landing in this class if we get Samson Okunlola. Where do you think things stand right now, Ross? I know you developed a great relationship with him. He's a great young man, a phenomenal football player, and he really likes the University of Miami.
Yeah, I don't think anything has changed in terms of any love being lost or anything. He still respects the hell out of our staff. We're still in contact with him regularly, and he is thoroughly enjoying getting to know our staff. It's not just football X's and O's and how are you doing. He's getting to know them on a personal level, and he's enjoying that. And it seems like that's something that Miami's doing a little more than the other schools are doing, and it's caught his attention. So, hey, whatever works, right?
I can't recall the last time that Miami's in a legit position to land 2 5-stars in the same recruiting class. You got Francis Mauigoa, Samson Okunlola. Potentially we're in a great position. I think we're one of his top schools, if not at the top. 5-star, 2 outstanding football players. We're only 4 Saturdays away from college football, guys. I mean, that just fires me up a little bit. And then you got Jerian Dickey, 5-star wide receiver, Oregon commit. He's here this past weekend. He's having a great time. So things are moving in the right direction. We're ranked number 9 in the nation as a recruiting class. Wait till we beat Clemson and Texas A&M. We'll see what happens. So we could finish really strong right now. I know a lot of fans, Los Allen's recruitment, it was a roller coaster ride. As we all know, Ross, we've had him on the scoop a couple times. And it seemed like Miami was in a great position, and Alabama came in the last minute. Wish him the best of luck at Alabama.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm really excited to see how, recruiting ends up in August. We've had a great July. If we can get Samson Okunlola in August, I mean, that would be phenomenal.
Here's the thing is with Allen and Okunlola, if we get Okunlola, we've gotten the better offensive tackle out of the two. That's just my opinion. Higher upside, going to be ready to play sooner than Allen is, especially with Allen having to compete in the SEC. So I think Okunlola, man, I mean, I just think he's simply the better player. And if we get him, kudos to our offensive line coaching because that is just amazing work.
And I agree with Chris Brown. I think Miami, they need to show their presence in college football because at the end of the day, I mean, there are players that when they're offered by Alabama, they're being recruited by Alabama. They're being recruited by Miami. No matter if they're local or out of state, Alabama's already set their establishment. Saban has been winning titles there. Bryant. I mean, they've already been established the past God knows how many years it's been winning national titles. Mario's coming in, and there's a whole lot of excitement. I think he's going to do an outstanding job at Miami, but he's going to have to prove it. And this season is a golden opportunity to prove it. That you can literally, the 2 teams that have been annoying you in recruitment in Florida, you get to play them in the regular season, and you got both of them away. I think it's a great opportunity for recruitment, and I guarantee you, like Chris Brown says, Miami can land in the top 10 if they do beat Texas A&M and Clemson.
We are definitely, of course, focused on our 2023 class to finish that off, but we've also got our eyes on 2024, guys, and we're making some big-time offers. We just, at the barbecue, we brought in the number 1 ranked 2024 RB, Jarrett Gibson from IMG Academy. If we could get on his good side, man, with our running back room the way it already is, that just continues to feed an elite class in that position. And of course, always fantastic to get the guys like Riley Williams, Jaden Wayne, just those guys, Nathaniel Joseph. Always great to get them in a group together in an event like that so they can talk to the recruits and say, hey, this is why we picked Miami over these other schools.
Robert Stafford was there as well. and
Yes.
Jackson Carver.
Yes.
So, it was a great event. I mean, Ross, I know you connected with some recruits, Frankie Tinalau in particular. After the event was over, any comments, overall comments that you heard from any recruits about the overall just gathering of everyone coming together? I know Francis Maugoa really put an emphasis to get Samuel Mpemba down there, and he was there as well. So I mean, there was a big presence at IMG, something that previous coaching staffs at Miami really couldn't tap into the way Mario Cristobal and this coaching staff has with IMG. They're really a strong pipeline.
Yeah, and why the hell not try to develop that as soon as possible? Honestly, I mean, why the hell not? And especially when you've got guys like Jaden Wayne and Riley Williams, who we've connected with in the Northwest, carried those relationships down, and now have them playing in our backyard. So it kind of just locks them into Miami, basically, which is fantastic for us. And I'll tell you what, Paul, there was a low key, but you'll know who it is when I mention it. Low key edge defender that showed up to the barbecue, and that's Joseph Mupoye, a guy that we haven't spoken to and a guy I haven't spoken to in quite a while. He'd had some issues with his phone for a little bit. I'm hoping to get back in contact with him because he is the sleeper on the outside in that class if we need to get somebody.
Ross, I want to talk about a local, very, very good football player out of Miami Central who, Reuben Bain, his brother's on the staff. His relative Tolbert Bain played at the University of Miami. There's a lot of Miami Hurricane pedigree there. I'm sure growing up his favorite team was Miami. He did visit Alabama. He's a 4-star recruit, and every school wants him. Do you think this has turned into a Miami Alabama race to land Reuben Bain? Are you still like we were confident about Reuben Bain probably a month ago? Reuben Hurricane Bain, he's coming to Miami. Is that confidence still there in your eyes that Reuben will be a Miami Hurricane, or it's like, hey, the Alabama Crimson Tide, like I previously mentioned, they win a ton of national titles every other year. Their presence is known in college football as being the college football program, hands down. There's no argument. Are we still confident about Reuben Hurricane Bain ending up in this class, or is it time to accept that Alabama is a major player?
I still have us number one, and until I see anything otherwise that would drastically change my mind, I'm going to keep him at number one for Miami. I just think that that's home for him. You can't discredit Bama. You can't discredit any schools in the SEC, even like Auburn, who are going after him. He apparently had a fantastic time in Auburn, too. But Bama, of course, has to be the concern. And, are we going to get into a one-on-one battle versus them? Well, this is where Mario's recruiting chops and the staff's recruiting chops. This is why we made these big hires. This is why we brought in all these premier coaches to be position coaches. So this is where it comes to play, guys. I mean, even though we haven't had a chance to win yet, these battles are the battles that we're going to be going against for the next couple of years against the best of the best if we want to be the best. So, hey, man, if we can win something like that, huge.
No, we got to win football games. It's easy. It's easier said than done, but you have a great opportunity to beat Texas A&M, Clemson, and hopefully, we say it every year, we can actually win the ACC title game. I'm getting tired of saying it. It's let's actually do it. We have a great quarterback, and I think we brought in a lot of great transfer portal players, to make an impact early on, especially at the D-line position unit. James Williams, I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I think all of our safeties are really good. I really do. There's some holes I would like. There's some question marks that I have. I'm curious about our wide receivers. I really am. How they're going to perform. Who's going to step up. But, I think there's a lot of good things trending this season. Samuel Mpemba, 5-star athlete. Some say they don't even know where he's going to play. Ross, obviously he was here this past weekend. Do you think it really comes down to, like we're stating, Miami winning football games, or, he's got a bunch of teammates playing with him at IMG? I mean, how do you think this recruitment is going to fare?
It seems like Notre Dame has kind of been the team on top, but if he can get around our guys, our IMG guys committed to Miami, and they can start really getting in his ear, and the fact that they were able to even get him to go to the barbecue which is something that Mpemba, he doesn't do what he doesn't want to do. If he simply doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it. So he obviously had a reason why he wanted to go there with that, which is fantastic. You remember we had him on for an interview a little while back. He was fairly low key, fairly cryptic about a lot of his answers, but that's understandable for a premier player at his age in the 2023 class. But it's going to be a battle, Paul. It's going to be a battle. I feel like Notre Dame is still in the lead there. But hey, man, anytime you can get a kid on campus and impress him, it gives you a chance.
22 minutes in, 156 people joining us live, guys. Thank you for your support once again, man. You guys can hit subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't already. It would mean the world to us, and it's the only way we can ask you guys to support the Scoop on the U, because we got a great guest list coming up this week, and we're really excited to bring out more content. Only 4 Saturdays away from college football starting. Got to say, it's gone by really fast, and it's only going to get by quicker and quicker by the time the season starts. Going into August, Ross, if you had to make any predictions with commitments, who do you think is someone to keep your eye on for people who follow recruiting for the month of August?
Always have to keep your eye on Okunola. Always have to. He's just the kind of guy who could be spur of the moment and just decide. Damon Wilson also reminds me of that as well. He keeps things very low key. I'm not sure if he's given out an actual date yet, but even if he has, I wouldn't set it in stone. He seems pretty low key in that aspect. Those are 2 players right there that I really think if we make big moves on this next month, we can change the outcome of it. And that's 2 5-star players right there, basically. So my hope is that we're going after the top dogs.
Yeah, no, that would be great. That would be really solid. It would be awesome to get some traction from Jury and Dickey as well. If he commits from Oregon, I think that's the sign, in my opinion. I think that's a big win for Miami, just to open up his recruitment again. Because usually when you decommit, you don't go back.
Yeah. If he opens up his commitment and he comes to Miami, I mean, dude, nothing but praise to that staff. Just like the Nathaniel Joseph situation, even though he was a local kid, well, lo and behold, we find out that Diaz's staff never even had a conversation with that kid. Likens never had a phone call with that kid. So he went and he chose Clemson, the bigger and badder team in the ACC. Well, guess what? Mario and them are so good at their job. They got him to come to Miami. They got the local kid to stay home, and it's a big, big deal, guys. It really is.
Kylorian Miami Kane, $2 donation. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Trip transferring to IMG, Francis in Mpemba's ear. We'll see what happens.
I didn't know Trip was going too. Wow, Trip heading down. Nice.
All right. All right, 25 minutes in, Ross. Anything you want to touch up on we haven't covered so far on today's segment? Any recruits that you want to mention for class of 2023 for Canes fans to keep an eye out? Maybe they're trending towards Miami more.
A lot of the names that we spoke of are basically the names that I would have referred to in that aspect. I think that we're aiming at the top dogs, but also, like I said, there is a sleeper amongst us. And guys, Joseph Mupoye, this is a guy that the staff is high on. Keep your eyes out. He's only a 3-star. He's an edge player. He's from up in the northeast corner. But he's not getting a ton of buzz just because he's just kind of new to the sport of football. He was a basketball player. But his upside, his length, and his athleticism, trust me, I would not be shocked to hear more and more and more about our staff reaching out to him. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right, let's do some rapid fire. We'll answer any questions you put in the chat. How many recruits do you guess we can get this month? I think 1 to 2. I think 1 to 2 is fair. I think Jaden Bonzu is a name we haven't mentioned. He's actually committing in August, and I think that's someone to circle in. I think Miami is in a great position to land him for August, in my opinion. I think Jaden Bonzu is your guy there.
Yeah, I'm going with 2. Yeah.
Do we think Jury? All right. Would you be surprised if Jury and Dickey opens back up his commitment?
I mean, you always got to be a little surprised when an elite guy opens it up just because of all the good things he said about Oregon. But hey, man, if he opens it up right after making a visit to Miami, that says something.
Yeah, I can see him doing it during the regular season if Oregon's just not doing well and Miami's thriving.
Yeah,
beating Texas A&M, undefeated going into Clemson. I can see that situation right there. I
he
can
could
see
be a transfer portal guy for us for sure. Yeah.
Anthony Manzano asked Ross, who is the sleeper that Miami is recruiting hard at the corner position that is not Brown, Johnson, or Cormani McLean that the fans should know about.
That's a great question because that's where our whole focus had been for a while there. It was a little bit of rumors that Deshaun Johnson might actually get in the
Yeah.
mix there. But Anthony, I hate to tell you, man, as of right now, I don't know any low key guys that we're going after out there. We've nailed it into Damari Brown and those other guys, and we're really sticking to it. It seems like. If we happen to hear anything else, definitely I'll make a note of it on Twitter. But so far, I haven't heard anything that's changed my mind that we're going after the top guys and sticking with those top guys.
I agree. I agree. I think this is different from other stats we have.
Yep.
Um, and I think we're going after the best. I really do. I think if Miami doesn't want someone, they're not going to take them. They're really not.
I see Chris Gonz's comment there. James Smith and Jaquarius Rusov, young men from Alabama. While I love their upside. I love both their upsides, and they've shown a little bit of interest to Miami. I just don't see that one happening, unfortunately, guys. Sorry.
All right. 28 minutes in, Ross. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up? I know we're doing a quick show today, but we're just getting started this week, so we're bringing out a lot of content.
We've got plenty more content on the way. I think we covered quite a bit here with just what we wanted to, but the content coming here in the near future, guys, on the channel, you're gonna want to check it out.
Guys, thank you so much. 175 joining us in only 28 minutes. We do this on the fly. We just message each other. We want to go live and we do it. So we greatly appreciate it. On your way out, if you can hit subscribe and the like button, greatly appreciate your support. And just keep your eye out. We will be doing shows this week, and we might have a Miami Hurricane alumni coming on who's a great big name in the NFL, and he's been on this show a couple times. So keep your eyes out for that, guys. Recruiting's only going to get better. It should be interesting in August who we reel in. I would circle in Jaden Bonzu, Samson Okunlola, and just Jerry and Dickey. If he opens up his commitment, decommits from Oregon, that's an outstanding sign, guys. That's
anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can happen if he opens that up.
Cool. Guys, 4 Saturdays away. Cannot wait. I've never been more excited to play Bethune-Cookman before. Really have. So appreciate everyone for you guys tuning in. And always all about the U. Go Canes.
Go Canes.